Order filled.
And Marie, that it was fabulous. It was like a intro to my session here. The three things that they were talking about that I'm very fussy with is consistency, control, and also confidence. And if a trader doesn't have that, then it's hard for them to move forward. But how do they build it? Because when they start trading, they come to the market with uh, a preset group of memories in the subconscious memory from however they grew up, their education, if they played sports, their upbringing, their parents, all that gives a trader their subconscious memory. Well, why do I talk about subconscious memory when we're trading? When you make a decision in your trading, it comes from your subconscious memory. 70% of your reactions come from your subconscious memory. So if you didn't condition your memory correctly, or you start conditioning your memory incorrectly as you trade, it can really mess you up. And so traders don't realize that they get emotional blocks. Excuse me. So what's an emotional block? An emotional block can trigger all sorts of reactions when you trade. And some of the trading reactions is a trader will fail to enter when their indicators tell them to. You had some great indicators that were described this afternoon. But if you have hesitation, fear,
Order
or
filled.
anything in there, an emotion, you won't take the trade. So let's say they finally take the trade, they finally enter. Well, now it's too late. Now they've got to readjust their whole strategy for what they're going to do because they're in at the wrong timing. That's coming from your subconscious memory and a fear. Let's say you're in a winning trade, and I'll bet happened to some today. When you're in a winning trade and the market starts to run, really, really run, and starts to take off, it's like, I'm going to hold on. I can get a little bit more. I can get a little bit more. I can get a little bit more. And what happens right when you wait just the last minute and you're making a lot of money, all of a sudden it flips on you and they tank it down. And when they tank it down, you're like, "Oh, I should have gotten out when it was up there." And again, that's coming from a fear. So you hold on to a losing trade too long, or you hold on to a winning trade too long and don't take your profit. I call it a lock it in. And Anne Marie talked about that. She said, when you get up there, if greed kicks in and you don't lock it in, then you do the coulda, shoulda, woulda. And you don't want to go into that. I should have closed it then. If I would have done this, you can't go into the shoulda, coulda, woulda. So all these are coming from a trigger in your subconscious memory. And the subconscious memory triggers the fear because your body goes into what I call protection mode. And I use the example of a candle. If you never experienced a candle before, and I said, John, put your hand over the candle. You're going to love this. And he puts his hand over the candle and he goes, ouch. In that moment got formed a neuro connection.
Yeah, I've
And
done
then
that
I
a
say,
lot.
John, and then I say, John, don't worry about it. Here's a list of 100 people that have done this before me, and do it again. And I convince him to do it again. Puts his hand over the candle. He gets burned. Ouch. The first neuro connection was a thread, but now it joined to the same neural connection and it became a cable. Third time, John, I don't know what happened. This is not right. Do it again. What are you going to tell me, John?
No.
Okay. No. That no came from his subconscious memory because he was in protection mode. If your body knows it's going into harm's way, it's going to stop you from what you're doing. Well, it's great for a candle, but it stinks for trading. So
Yes.
when you go in, you have a loss, ouch. You might have a little loss. It's not such a big ouch. Then you have a larger loss, ouch. Then you have a really large loss, ouch. Now the
Ouch.
neural connection in your subconscious is so strong that you really start to react incorrectly when you trade because all of your reactions are getting filtered through your subconscious memory. That's why I'm going to give you some lessons here. I have my timer. I want to give you some
Okay.
lessons.
Is it time for the Cambridge slide?
Yes, put on the Cambridge slide. Your
Okay.
mind is so dynamic. The words that you think during your trading, and I'd like you to read this, please. Do the best you can, and I'll keep talking. The words that you think during your trading will make a difference to what is happening. I'm showing you the slide
Order
because
filled.
the power of your mind has the ability to read this slide and read the sentence correctly, even though it's incorrectly done. The power of your mind is to sort it out and use the words as they're meant to be. That's the power you have in your mind. But most people don't know they have that power. They don't have any
Sure.
idea that they have the power to do this. So you have to be cognizant of the words that you are thinking in the moment that you're taking a trade and recondition them so you're making the right words to have the right reaction. And the key thing is not to repeat a bad trade because you'll lock in bad information. So one of the things that you can do, or that I always suggest for, and it's for beginners as well as people who have longevity in the market, if they're not getting results. If you have a losing trade, you should stop, analyze the losing trade, figure out what you need to change, and then change it on the next trade. Do not take another trade until you've figured out what you did on the losing trade. I can't tell you how many traders, I'll go back and get it in. I'll go back and get it on this one. No, I can do it this way. Now you've taken 3-4 trades and each of them have lost because you haven't made the modification. I like the way the room was today because it was nice and slow. And the other day when I watched, traders that were in there were real calm. They were the language wasn't always great, but they were calm. And so that means they have confidence when they're calm. And so their confidence allowed them to take the trade properly. But when you're starting out, you're coming with all these fears and your money is on the line. So money adds another dimension to your trading. Everybody has what I call a level of threshold on their cash. And depending on if they're used to having money or not used to having money, their level of threshold to make decisions can change. So I had a multimillionaire call me and he says, Robin, I heard about you. I can't do anything right. And I said, well, what's going on? He says, I've been trading for three years now. I've been going to psychiatrists, therapists, and they can't seem to break me, and I can't take a trade. I said, well, how much did you lose? He said, I lost $100,000 in one trade. He said, but that's not a lot of money for me. I'm a multimillionaire. I said, it was enough to stop you. He says, yeah, I haven't been able to take a trade ever since that day. So his level of threshold was really high. That's not the average person, but that works for everybody. So your level may be $1,000, maybe $100. So your level of threshold on your dollar amount that you lose intensifies the feeling in the moment and makes you react differently. So analyzing the loss, and you know the expression, keep the losers small, make the winners bigger, and that's a true statement. So make sure you have risk rewards in place, that the number that you lose is minimal and that you analyze the loss right away. This is called a trader's block. If you keep doing the same thing over and over and over again and you keep going into a fear, you have an emotional block. And most likely, you're not going to be able to fix it easily unless you go slowly, one by one, and replace it with winning trades. Unless you do come to me for some help. So I took this multimillionaire through a process, and I fixed him within an hour. And he didn't call me then the next session, and I was worried because sometimes when I unblock somebody, they get really crazy. And so I called him back. I said, Hank, where are you? You're missing your session. He says, I don't need you anymore. He says, I took 6 trades today. The first one
Order
flat,
filled.
the rest are positive. He says, I don't need you anymore. He says, I'm going to just go off into the sunset. So he did. That's not the average person. So when you have a block, we have to disconnect the memory that you connected from the conscious memory to the subconscious fear. So in the trading example, John, when I asked you to put your hand over the candle, what do you think the fear is? I'm afraid what?
I'm going to get burned again.
Right. I'm going to get burned again. I'm going to hurt again. I'm going to do it again. Something's going to happen. That thought, when I told you to put your hand over the candle the 3rd time, you didn't go through the mental process of, oh, this is going to happen and I'm thinking this. No, you reacted in 2 seconds. No. That's how fast your brain reacts to the fear. In a nanosecond. Nanosecond. Think about it. A nanosecond. Your brain is reacting to the fear when you're trading. That's why you must analyze your losses, because analyzing them will give you new data and new information. Another tidbit I'd like to give you in this area is write 3 new things. If you want to really propel your learning in this business and really leap forward, write 3 new things in a journal every day you learned. And it could be one-liners. You don't have to write a whole volume of stuff. 1 line. What you learned today. I learned today that the moving average, when it hits this, is this. I learned today when it comes down to support the 3rd time, if it doesn't break it, it's going to hold it. 3 lines every day. In the morning before you trade, read those entries. Just read them really quick. Go on to the next thing. So when you have a loss, you should have something you learned and figured out and changed. Okay? Now, number 2. So that's on the subconscious memory. Now, the words that you think are critical. You don't want to have what I call bad words. And I traded in a trading room with 100 guys. I've heard everything. So words are critical. Some of the words that traders use are very large. Trading's like a battle. Every time I go in there, I get shot down.
Order filled.
Every time I take the long, I'm in the toilet. No negative metaphors. No negative metaphors. No negative words. Are you really in a battle? No. But your brain doesn't know that. Your brain thinks you're in a battle. So you don't want to put it into a reaction mode by thinking those words. So minimize the size of the words that you're using so that you don't pollute your subconscious when you trade. Have forward thinking words. I can do this. I'm going to look for the new entry. I'm going to look at what's working. That's a great way to also increase your profitability, is to look at your trades and double down on what you're doing well, not only the things you're not doing well. So you want to repeat that. A lot of traders don't define their strategy or plan. That's what I heard on yesterday when somebody said, "What's your number one trading error?" No plan. The plan has to be detailed. It goes from here to here to here, and you want to make it about 7 or 8 steps is what I've found to be a good set of a plan. Now, that's not everybody. Everybody's different. I trade differently from you guys, and so your plan has to be simple, and it's like a checklist. This is in place. This is in place. This is in place. Okay, we're good to go. I'm entering. There will be 3 or 4 that are priority items in your plan. The rest are nice to have, make it better, but usually you have 3 or 4 at the top that must be in your plan, that must be there all the time.
Hmm.
So that's the plan part. So now, so words. Never use the word can't or the phrase I don't know. If you have kids, get that out of their language. Can't and I don't know is the off switch for the brain. I can't find a trade. I can't find a level. I can't understand the strategy. Can't. You'll never get it. Can't and I don't know is the off switch for the brain. Don't use them.
You're
So
just checking
language,
out.
yep, it's gone. The brain goes, okay, I'm on a break. That's it. I'm done. And it stops. Doesn't look
Huh.
for anything. How can I find something in this trade? What did I miss in this trade? What did somebody else see in this trade? When I worked in the trading room, I would sit down next to the top traders. They would have me analyze what they were doing in their plan and have me teach it to the rest of the guys. And first thing I would say to them, where are your eyes going around the screen? What's first, second, third, fourth, and fifth? Where are you looking? And they say, well, I'm looking here first. I'm watching for volume here. Then I watch for time and sales. Then I watch here. Then I watch here. And then I take the trade. So notice where your eyes are going. If you see somebody that's trading a trade very well, ask them, what did they see first, second, third, and fourth? What were they looking for on the screen? Have your screen set up so you go from left to right in your plan. So when you know your strategy, you've got your items, go from left to right so that your eye
Organized.
is not jumping all over the place. Because your mind has to now take that information, put it together, and then formulate a plan to make the entry. And you want to make that as simple as possible. So when I work with somebody, I don't only work with their trading system. I work with, what are they thinking? What are they saying? Where are they looking? How are their screens set up? Is everything flowing? Are they making the same error over and over? And so I look at the whole picture. Water. I said that really fast because I wanted not to forget water. Your brain is on hyperdrive. You are processing so much information at one time with all your screens and everything that's going on. Your body is, I think, 75% water. You have to have water to keep your brain fresh and thinking correctly. Water, not coffee, not Red Bull, not anything like that.
Hydrated.
H2O. Water. And so I used to have the bubblers all around the trading room when I was there, and everybody would complain because, I'm going to the bathroom all the time now. I said, well, it's better that your mind is alert. So
Hmm.
water's really critical. Water's really critical. Another one is super beats. If you want to do super beats and get a little jolt, it doesn't make you hyperactive crazy, but it's a good healthy thing for your system. Super
Super
beets.
beets.
And you can get that at Walmart, really inexpensive, and you just add it to it and it tastes good. Okay,
I got
so
I
the
got a
second
bowl
one,
of I got a bowl of gummies right over here. Super
you
beets.
you do?
Yeah.
Yeah, beets are good. Okay, our second one was patterns. We have a tendency to lock in patterns. Why? Our brain loves patterns, loves them. How many of you are wearing the same shirt that you wore the other day? How many of you go to the closet, you have all these clothes and you pick the same shirt out, the same pair of pants, the same this, the same that? Go to the same restaurant, you pick up the menu, a big huge menu, order the same thing. Our brains love patterns because it provides us certainty, consistency, it makes us
Comfort.
feel good. With comfort, total comfort. It's the C word.
Uh-huh.
That's great for different places. In trading, the problem is we can lock in a bad pattern. So, guy called me, Robin, I took 6 trades today. I can't do anything right. I said, okay, tell me about the 6 trades. Well, I had 2 that were profitable and I had 4 that weren't. I said, okay, well, tell me what happened on the 4. He says, well, I did this, I did this, I did this. Oh, yeah, I did them all the same. I said, great. Now you know exactly what not to do. Don't do it again. He says, but I can't stop. Then I said, well, what happened to the 2 trades that you won? I can't remember.
Ah.
So our brain will lock in to the pattern and do it over and over and over and over again. Forget about the good ones. And we keep I call it pushing the trade and doing the same error. That's the reason why I say when you have a losing trade, analyze that trade right away, or you're going to run into this second issue. You will repeat the same problem over and over until you switch it. So how do you switch it? When you find the solution to that trade, you go into your account, you place the trade, and you go for a short amount of ticks. Not 10 points, not even a full point. Go in for a few ticks till you lock in the right pattern, because you want to lock in the winning pattern. Go back to the winning trades that you did and look at exactly what you did for the winning patterns and go and do that. Say, oh, look at that. On that list, I was missing this when I had that losing trade. I didn't have that thing. So when you define your plan and define your steps, you can figure out what you're doing and not doing correctly to get the winning pattern locked in, not the losing pattern. So patterns your body will grab onto naturally. It's in our DNA. It's just what we do. But you as traders are not conditioned for this. When you start, what happens when you go to play sports? What does any coach have you do? Repetition, over and over and over.
The
And they
fundamentals and
they tweak it.
repetition.
They tweak it a little bit. Tiger Woods, get out there, lift your elbow. Ball goes in the right direction. Doesn't slice anymore. Coach, do it again. Do it again. Do it again. Why? Because then it locks it into the muscle memory. Brain is the same thing. The brain is more complex, but it does exactly the same thing. You want to lock in the mental pattern of a great trade over and over and over again. And you can't do that if you get sucked into and this is the bad part, the market is very seductive. It is very, very seductive because it's
Yes,
attached
it
to
is.
money. And when a trader comes in and they're new and they have a good winning trade when they're new, it's the kiss of death because they
Unbelievable.
think they're going to
That's so
be like
true.
that all the time.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that was easy. I did it. I can do it again. They go back in. What happens? They have a loss again. They go back in. They have a loss again. The pattern kicks in. They lock in the bad pattern. And now they're down for the day and they don't know why. So all these things are attached. All these pieces. The the patterns that we're talking about in number 2
Mhm.
and in number 1, the fears that we had from the past. Have you had, if you're playing sports in tennis, I had it all the time in tennis. They would call me, I would do coaching for the kids because they were going to play a person that they had played before, but they lost to them. So now they had the mental block that they were going to lose against them again. And I
Mhm.
had to turn around for that and change their thinking and change what they're doing. And that's why they would call me to do coaching. I had a girl who was a runner, and she would throw up before she was a long distance runner, and she'd throw up before every race. And her mother called me. She says, I heard about you. My daughter, she's ready to give up the sport. She's really good, but she gets sick before she goes. I took her through I had to unlock the fear from her conscious memory. We did the
Uh-huh.
session together. She never threw up again. But those two things are strongly linked, and most traders have no clue that this is what's happening.
Uh, Let me ask you a question, if I can. Are you still with us? Did we lose you?
Olga, I think she's frozen. We might need to
Okay.
might need to get her a refresh here. Hey, real quick,
Yeah,
while we're doing that, you want to do a quick recap on where the market's trading?
of
See
course.
if
Are
I can
you
get
gonna
her.
send her a text?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. All right. Where are markets? Well, S&Ps, seem to be holding above this previous high in the overnight session. It's pulled back to that level. I think Anne Marie was talking about 57.20s as a kind of an interesting area. It pulled back a little deeper than that, down to 57.12, but currently trading 57.27 quarter. Crude oil just put in another new session high in the last 30-minute bar, and has really not shown much of a push back to the downside by all intents and purposes here. It's pretty much closed for the day, but really just holding up near these highs. Any of these sellers up here at these highs are probably mechanical shorter time frame sellers. If they continue to hold and if you continue to see price pushing up against this level, that's when we might see the capitulation of any of these shorter time frame weaker hands, like mechanical sellers up here, finally give up, and we may see another push to the upside here by the end of the day today. It would be kind of unusual for that to happen after the close, but I can start to see it happening. As far as gold is concerned, boy, that island top really paid. And where did it pay from? The overnight low yesterday, we were unable to close the gap, and the low actually from the extended trading hour session yesterday really put in our high here. We'd left that failed upside auction above the initial balance, and it's really kind of pushed to the downside. This was a really kind of a a situational, a nuance told trade. The nuance of the island top, when the equity started rallying, gold started tanking. Currently trading 33.11, and it's going to be an interesting day tomorrow. Order filled. Nasdaq, very similar to the S&Ps, of course.
Am I back?
You're back. Thank goodness. You left me
Okay.
all alone.
Oh, I'm sorry. I couldn't. Nothing was moving. I had to log out and log back in.
Had
It
to
just
restart.
everything
Excellent. Good job.
refroze.
Good
So
job.
So I'm here. So my question was to you, John, and that's how I knew I didn't get an answer. Our third part. Our third part was the tracking. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So most people don't track. And they don't track. I know as soon as I say tracking, I can feel everybody going, "Oh shit, she's going to tell me to track."
They all
I
they all
can't
say they do,
stand
but they don't.
I can't track that data. I can't stand it. I
Mhm.
don't track the way normal people track. I just am launching a new beta program for 10 traders at each session. You get the presentation, you learn the tracking system, and you get a follow up a week later. And I do all sorts of bonuses. And I'm doing that because I'm finding most traders don't track, but they don't like what they're tracking or how they're
Order
tracking. They don't
filled.
know how to track. I
Probably
developed this
painful.
system. I developed this system whereby I used to teach a 30-day program where I had traders come in and I tracked them for 30 days. And we tracked it in a way they could actually see that they were getting better. Most tracking systems go by what you're making in the day, what you're losing in the day. You have small goals, for the day or the week or the month, and you have little, and you're managing um, your results by that data, and it's freaking boring. It is so boring, and most people do it for a little while and they stop. My tracking system works on determining and analyzing the quality of the trade. If the quality of the trade is there, the money's going to follow. So if you have a great trade and your entry was really good and you entered right where you were supposed to in your plan and you had it go along and you took your profit and you closed the trade and you locked it in, you had a high quality trade. And I have definitions for 3 levels of quality. So what happens at the end of the week is you'll say, and I rate them in a 1, 2, or 3. 1 is the best, 3 is the worst. So at the end of the week, the first week, I usually get a few 1s, a bunch of 2s, and a bunch of 3s, which are things you never should do ever again. Then by the second week, when we take the numbers, I get a lot more 1s, a lot more 2s, and my goal is to remove the 3s. And the numbers just keep going up. At the same time, the trader analyzes the trade on what they're doing, and they can see specifically what they're doing, and it incorporates also your mind, what your mind is thinking. So you have a piece in there that is your mind. Were you in fear? Did you get in too late? How did you manage that? Because you're not going to get every trade perfect. You're just not.
Right.
You're going to go in sometimes and get perfect trades in. The market's going to throw you a curve. And now you got to manage that fear and manage the trade. And if you go into the HWP mode, you're screwed. Do you know what the HWP mode is?
No, what is that?
The hope, wish, and pray.
Oh, got it.
If you get in a
Yes.
trade, it's in your
I've been
favor,
there.
and Trump gets on the friggin' news and says something, and the market curves on you, you have to go into the HWP mode. And that's not what you're supposed to do. You have to have
No.
a way to control it. That's why we have consistency, control, and confidence. Those are the 3 things you want to master: consistency, control, and confidence. So that program is the one that I'm rolling out for for 10 people. And I'll do 10 people at a clip because I want to get to them specifically. And I made it very inexpensive, not because it's not worth it, because this is what traders are missing. They're not tracking, and they're not tracking in a way that they like it, and they're not tracking in a way
Uh,
that they can see their improvements or that they're changing their numbers. And if you're just starting out, that's what you need. Even if you're halfway down the road, the guy that called me that said he took 6 trades and he can't do anything right, he'd been trading for 15 years.
right.
So I see this throughout the years. I don't see it just in the beginning stages, but
The beginning.
start out in the beginning and set some good habits and get these things in place and get your good patterns in there, and then you're good to move forward. Does that make sense?
Order
Yes.
filled.
I'm
Yeah.
so if you could post the link in there for that, it's called I just redid it, the profit pathway
Tracking
tracking
webinar.
system.
Yep.
Yeah,
We've
the
been we've
webinar.
been posting those throughout
Oh,
your
okay.
throughout the
Okay. The other
presentation
thing,
here. So
all right. The other thing I want to tell you really quick, and then I want to get into the Q&As, is that I also do a thing called the emotional trading test. I do these individually. I don't have canned answers. I have similar answers, but I do not do
really,
canned answers. Yes, I go through, because when I go through, I have this questionnaire in a certain um, flow. And when the trader is going through it and they're giving me the answers to those questions, the flow of their answers
order
tells me
filled.
about the trader, not only just the answer. I can tell if they've been in sports or if they were wealthy or if they were by the answers that they give me. So I
Huh.
have that up there and I do that emotional trading test. Now I'm putting it out there, but I'm telling you now, if I get a bunch of them, it's going to take me a while to get through
Order
because I go
filled.
through them one by one, and I do it very methodically, and I answer. Nobody does this in
Order filled.
the market.
Wow, that's
like I
order
do.
filled. It's very personal.
Nobody does this. No, it's very. I
That's
believe
huge.
that if you're not personal as a coach, that you can't move a person forward. And so that's why, I interviewed with 7 traders at Tutor. I was the only female, the only one that didn't have a college degree, and the only one that didn't have a book. And I was the only one that all 7 traders picked because I personalized my coaching, because your problems are not
Fantastic.
like the other person's problems. And so
Right.
that's why
Right.
I'm only taking 10 people in each of these groups for the webinar, because I'm going to personalize it. I'm going to offer something. So for the first 3 people that,
Robin, you asked me to tell you when you had we had about 5 minutes left. We have
oh,
about
so,
5 minutes left.
so are they not going to give me extra time because we started late? Is Gabe not going to throw
Well,
me
I mean,
another 10 minutes?
um, I don't know
No,
about that. We
because we
can
didn't
just kind
start
of
till
go
a
up until
quarter after.
till the hour, and then we got to kind of move on. I
Okay.
apologize, and
All
we
right.
didn't get to the question, but you've been on such a roll, and everybody
Okay.
has been really kind of relating to the things you've been saying.
Okay.
Um, she's been, everybody's been very, very into, everything that you've been
Positive.
saying. So,
Okay. So
okay, let me
that
see
one
here.
form, there is
Go
a
ahead.
link for that form, but throw me a question really quick. I'll try to do as
Okay.
many as I can.
Okay. The same setup, which can be a very solid, in process setup, can be a winner or a loser. How do you adjust the losers to kind of keep them from becoming losers, or at least harming you? There are traders that take the same setup, and it may only succeed 3 out of 10 times, but they're making profits on the 3 that outdo
Right.
the
That's the
losses
problem.
of the
So
7.
their setup is not being analyzed correctly to tweak it. If you if you if you win at a bad setup, that's another kiss of death.
That's a bad
If you
thing, right?
win money at a bad setup. So by analyzing it correctly, you'll analyze it. Was it a bad setup, or was it the market just gave me a curve? And it could be the market just gave me a curve. But if you have a bad setup and you haven't fixed it, and know that it's a good setup, it should work 80%, 85% of the time. A good setup, 80 to 85% of the time. And if it's not, it's got to be worked more. You got to tweak it more. And a lot of traders go for too much money. it's better to go for less money in snippets. So I analyzed a high-end trader, and he would go for, at first he was going for really long moves, and then we cut it like in half. And when we cut it in half, he was winning more, and all he had to do was increase size. So when you get good at doing smaller time frames and smaller goals, not 10 points, and you're going for a shorter distance in your setup, you'll make more money. All you have to do is add a contract. Consistency, control, and confidence. Okay, give me another question. So I hope that answered your
You got it.
question.
We're going to keep you here for a little bit longer.
Okay.
All right.
I'll do as many
Everybody's
as I
really
can.
enjoying what you're saying. So,
Okay.
so
I
this
love
kind of relates to what you were just kind of talking about. This
Mhm.
question is, how does one get over the mental hardship of transitioning from scalping to holding for longer time frames?
You only want to hold for longer time frames. If you're going to transition and you know that longer time frame setup is working, like if you see the guys in the room and they've got a really great setup and you just can't hold it for long because your fear is kicking in, don't hold it for the entire time. Let's say they have a 2-point goal and you've been so scared that you've been closing it out after 4 or 5 ticks. Go one more tick. Go 6 ticks, 6 ticks, 6 ticks. You feel comfortable with that? Stretch it. Go 7 ticks, 7 ticks, 7 ticks. Work it until you're comfortable. You don't go skiing and go to the black diamond when you first start out. You go to the bunny slope, and then you pray you can get to the bottom without crashing into a tree or a person. But by the afternoon, you're doing pretty good. And you then go to the black diamond, or not the black diamond. You go to a green slope, and you try that
Uh,
course. Little by little, stretch it, stretch it, stretch it. Don't go one extreme to another. Extremes freak people out. Switching from sim to live freaks people out. Switching from trading at the CME on the floor to trading by yourself freaks them out. I can't tell you how many
freaked 'em out.
traders I've gotten going by themselves. They freak out because their atmosphere is all different. You
Yes.
have to stretch it slowly, slowly. Next question.
Yeah, you mentioned Ben Lichtenstein, and I would imagine that you know some people that I know if you've worked with
Order
that many people
filled.
from the CME floor. So this is, this is kind of related to some of the things you've already kind of mentioned, but I just want to ask the question for this trader. When I'm up for the day, I'm super calm. But when I lose one or two and I'm down a bit, I start to lose it. And it's like, hey, market, give me my money back. A little revenge trading going on there. What do you do about that?
Revenge is a very big portion of this. Set a goal in your mind of what you're going to win in the day. This is one of the hardest things traders can do. Set a goal you know you can make. This is a trading game I teach. Set a goal you know you can make. Definitely make, bar none, no matter what the market is, you can make this much in a day. I'm going to say $100. You go in, you make $100, and you stop, and you go to sim. Hardest thing you'll do. Go the entire week and see if you were able to do $100 every single day. Here's the rule. Never lose in the day what you know you can make. So if I have $100 goal and I know I can make $100 and I go down 500, it's going to take me a week to get it back.
A week to get it. Sure.
Because that's what you know you can make. Increase it as you go. Again, a little bit at a time. $100. Is it boring? Yes. Will you become a successful trader? Yes. Or else you just keep losing 500, 500, 600, 700. Now you're in the hole so much, you're refunding your account. Set a goal you know you can make, and then stop and increase it and do it. You can do it for 3 days. If you have 3 days in a row, then increase it. Increase it 50
Baby step.
bucks. Yeah.
Baby
Next
step.
question.
Start on the green runs before you go
Yeah.
to the black diamond, right?
Right.
How do I stop system hopping, strategy jumping, whatever you want to call it? This
Okay,
is one
that
problem
means
I have. I've
he's
learned.
not comfortable. He's not comfortable with the system he's got. He hasn't looked at them deep enough, and I call it digging, finding the bugs on the window. You're looking out the car window, you're looking down the street signs, you're looking at this and that, and then somebody gets in your car and says, John, when the heck are you going to wash your windows? Look at all the bugs. And your eye refocuses and sees the bugs, and the street sign and the road and the lights disappear. When you start trading, you need to dig. If you're not digging, a way to dig, and they did this to me in the trading room, I had the same problem when I started. They put me on a computer and they said, and I kept on losing in the beginning. And they said, you're sitting on the computer for 1 month and you can't take a trade. You can only watch the screens. I said, how can I make money that way? So I was hooked. All the things that I've created for traders, I went through myself.
Yeah.
So I learned more in that month because I saw the bugs on the window, and my emotions didn't pop up, because you will filter through the emotion and you will filter through your subconscious memory when you are doing that. When you're doing that.
Excellent. One more.
Okay,
What,
go.
what am I doing wrong if my trades work well on paper or sim, but not so well in live trading?
Okay, you need to ask the question. He's filtering through a fear. And so he's comfortable and confident and secure when he's on paper. He should go to sim. You go to sim. You take everybody. Sim is not a bad word. Sim is not a dirty word. Sim, you
No.
use sim. It helps you emotionally get set. So when you change a process, you change something in your plan, in your strategy, you're doing something different, do it in sim. Get 3 trades that work in sim that earns you the right to go to live. So use sim, earn your way to live. And because what is that doing? Creating a pattern of winning in your brain that allows you to learn your strategy. And if it's not working in sim, it's not going to work in live. And that will help you get over and help your brain build your subconscious memory for the confidence in that system and trade. Got another one really quick?
It's really all about avoiding fear, isn't it?
Yes. Yep.
All about
That's why I'm
avoiding
the fear
fear.
guy. I'm the fear guy. Fear woman.
Yeah.
That's my
Well, you may be
specialty.
hearing from me soon, even though I've been trading for
Everybody
30 some
has
odd
fear.
years.
I went through it today with that market. I went through it today. I got so wrapped up with when Trump was speaking, I totally screwed up myself. So when I was in the trading room and I said, I keep losing, you ask a question. If you ask a question, you can stop your brain. So I said to myself, okay, I'm going to ask a question. Because I kept chasing the trade. So somebody would yell out in the room, 100,000 shares of Microsoft is coming through, because we used to get messages from the guys at the brokerage into the trading room. So we'd all get ready to trade whatever they were going to call through. So the Microsoft's running. So what did I do? Of course, I pulled up Microsoft, took the trade, and it went down. So I said, I keep going in when they call out the thing, but it keeps going down. So my one guy said to me, well, then do the opposite. If everybody's buying, you sell it. So I
Yeah.
tried that. Then I said, I got to ask a question, because I know questions will stop me. So my question was, are you chasing the trade? If the answer was yes, I had to stop. I wasn't allowed to take the trade. Sounds simple, right? Microsoft's running,
Yeah.
Microsoft's running, Microsoft's running. Are you chasing the trade? Yes. I still took the trade. It was
Wow.
like my fingers had magnets to the
Oh.
keyboard. I was an addict. It was as close to an addiction as I could be. So I said, okay, I know what I got to do. I'm not allowed to take that trade. I have a question. I've got to answer yes, but I'm physically pulled to the keyboard. So I said, okay, how do I fix it? So you got to ask, how do I fix it? So I said, okay, I'm going to sit on my hands. Went through the process. Microsoft's running, Microsoft's running. Are you chasing the trade? Yes. And I sat on my hands, and I can't even begin to tell you, it took me 5 times before I could stop and not have my hands go to that keyboard. This is very addicting.
Yes.
Trading.
I always told people, before you do anything, before you take a trade, ask yourself one question: is this in my best interest?
Yep. That's a great question. I also like what's really happening, because that'll allow you to determine what's happening in the market. Why are questions good? Questions stop the brain and allow you, because it looks for the answer to the question. A good question stops the brain in the moment as you're trading and allows you to look for the answer to the question. That's good. That means you're not in your subconscious memory. Any kind of emotion, fear, apprehension, hesitation, you're in your subconscious memory. You're not in your conscious mind, but a question will pull you there. I'm so glad you brought that up.
All right. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you being here.
I could do this all day long.
We definitely want to have you back. As soon as possible. We'll reach out. Let's get another session going, because it's been so wonderful having you here. Everybody in the chat has just been really soaking up all the things that you've been talking about, and yeah,
Thank you for having me.
You might be hearing from me soon as a client, because I think everybody needs maintenance once in a while, right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It was really a pleasure to do with you guys. I love this. I could do this 24/7. I'm ADD and I love to trade. I've been doing it for so long, and this is my specialty. I know the business. And I love getting people over their fears.
Well, we have been absolutely blessed to have you here again. We will have you back very, very soon. At this time, I'm going to hand it over to
and no more of
Andre
this.
and Gabe. No. Blessings to you, Robin. It's been a blast. I can't wait to have you back on. And so
thanks
we'll
so
hand
much,
it off
John,
to
for your help.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Andre, Gabe, Quasi, let's see what's going on with you guys. We're just going to do a quick switch here, and we got you some more time, and it was wonderful to have you with us.
Thank you. I
so
appreciate
here you go,
that.
guys.
Thanks.
Wow, we are back.
Guys.
Yes, that was absolutely amazing. Robin Dane in the house. Absolutely great stuff. We are going to roll right into Power Hour. Again, we will cut that up and post that. We'll isolate it on the YouTube. Let's get ready to this Power Hour. Man in the middle, we got Quasi in the house. Ooh, my partner today got Gabe as well. Let's get right into it. Quasi, how you trading today? What's your P&L? And
oh man,
how we doing?
Man, I did great. I was in the funded account. I think I'm up $12.91.
XFA.
Yes, FXA,
All right.
XFA, $12.91.
Yes, sir. Let's do it. Okay, good stuff.
Yes,
Gabe, it's our first time on Power Hour together. I do believe you got the keys to the house account, my friend. Gabe. We got to work on that.
Oh my gosh,
yeah,
dude,
man.
what a day.
Yeah. Oh man. Let's go. All right, Gabe. You got the keys to the house account. Let's start rocking.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's do it. All right. Quasi, any levels you're looking at? You're up $1,200 already. What are you seeing today? Markets have not been easy, so to speak.
Oh man.
And
so before I even got on, I locked out. What's that, man? I caught that 19,980 level, man, and I just ride that long all the way down, man. So I took my profits and locked out. So I'm on combine right now. But yeah, I locked out the XFA, and we're up 12.91 on that one. But I was gonna, I forgot I was gonna get on, so I accidentally locked it out. But since I'm gonna go ahead and trade a combine and see, I don't know, I haven't really looked at any levels recently, but I can definitely take a look and see what we have.
All right, sounds good.
Let's see what we have. I mean, we did high.
All right, Gabe, house account is up $140. A little bit of a drawdown, not too long ago, but we're all good. Keep our head above water. What do we think about trading here, Gabe? ES, Nasdaq. I guess Fuzzy trades the Nasdaq, so let's check it out. That works with you, my man.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, let's trade what Fuzzy's got going on. I definitely think that there's some